Hey everybody, Ross Pitkoff here, and I wanted to welcome you all to Ipsa Marketeur, which is a digital marketing agency that I founded for attorneys, run by attorneys. Now, just a little bit of background about me. As you probably know, I'm a commercial litigator in New York City, and I really grew my practice using digital marketing over a number of years. I started my first digital marketing agency, VIP Social, while I was still working at my prior law firm. And here I am about 5 years later, running a profitable practice and also now working with attorneys to help them with their digital marketing campaigns. Briefly, I'm making this welcome video for you because I thought I'd do two things here. Kind of walk everybody through the types of services we offer, but also really just be able to provide value. So my goal when I email you, when I provide videos and send them over to you, which will be embedded in the emails, is not for me to say, call me now and go ahead and pay our agency money. Now, we're an agency, we're a for-profit business, so if anybody needs assistance, we're happy to help and we'd like to help. But these videos are sort of just to educate and to nurture and to allow you to even experiment on your own to try doing things that can help grow your practice. So what do we do as an agency? Well, as an agency, there are two ways that we really help businesses grow. So number one is organic growth, and organic growth is unpaid media. The second way that we help businesses grow is paid ads, and so those are paid advertisements on digital marketing platforms such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and display ads. Briefly, just jumping back to organic, I'll walk through very quickly the types of things that you can do to grow your pages online and to kind of get yourself set up for digital marketing. Now, some of you may already be doing some of these things. Some of you may already set up some of these channels, but you haven't really been nurturing them. So this could serve as a reminder, and it can provide you with some guidance and advice on what to do to get eyes on your practice. Obviously, there's a number of different areas that you're going to want to pay attention to. I'm sure just about everybody receiving this has a website. I trust that you do. So you always want an updated website that's mobile friendly, and of course, be wary of what's going on with the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and what they're doing, and now requiring you to be compliant with your website. That's a whole separate issue, but if you have questions about that, you can reach out to us. Separately, you're going to want a Facebook channel, you're going to want an Instagram channel, you're going to want a LinkedIn channel, a YouTube channel, and then also, I see this is not in my notes, I'm writing it down, you should have a Twitter handle as well. Now, many of us have these channels, or some of them, but we don't really do anything on them. And I think there's a lot of confusion as to how we can nurture them and what are the best ways to grow them. And the number one thing I can say is the reality is consistency is king. If you're consistent with posting on all of these channels, you'll start to generate a following. Now, that doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to wake up and have tens of thousands of followers. It just doesn't happen. And followers aren't followers for the sake of what some 20-year-old on YouTube or on Instagram is kind of bragging about, saying, I've got all these followers and look at me, I'm an influencer. The idea for us is we want a small amount of followers on all of our channels who are actually relatively likely to become a client at some point in the future. So people that would be interested in using our services at some point, even if it's not now. So what's a good strategy that you can follow, or what can you do? Well, first off, if you're interested in growing these channels, I would start to come up with a plan. Think of your marketing as a plan. 9 out of 10 businesses that do marketing, they don't actually plan it out. It's sort of like, let's see how we go. Let's kind of run some ads here. We'll run a Google ad here. We'll run a Facebook ad here, and we'll see what happens. It's not the way to do it. First and foremost, start with a 30-day plan. So you're going to want to come up with a 30-day plan every month to decide how it is you're going to post on your social channels. And the question becomes, well, what type of post can I put on my channels? Well, think of this as a means of kind of showing who you are to your audience. The days of formality have sort of passed us. We're more into an era of authentic, who we really are, what we really do, and what we really stand for. The idea of humanizing is now prevalent across social media. Now, maybe on television that's still a little different, but that's not social. So the reality is so many people, and we're seeing this right now during the coronavirus, they're on the social channels, and you're going to want to catch up in terms of recognizing that you should really try and be as much of you as possible. So think of different things you can do. You can plan posts by finding links to valuable resources, so valuable websites, maybe articles that discuss something relevant to your topic, to your audience. So if your audience is people that are going through bankruptcy, you may want to share articles about bankruptcy and what to do with Chapter 7s and Chapter 11s and the differences in those nature, or how to protect your home in the event that you go through a bankruptcy. Personal injury, you may want to share articles about car accidents, etc. So you don't actually need to write these articles, but you can just type a brief summary of the article and then link to it. Another option is, of course, to link to your own blog posts if you're writing blogs, or link to something that you've written, something that's unique to you. Separately, you can keep things light. You can create memes. You can have little jokes, that are relevant to your audience for your practice areas. So maybe that's an image of some sort that has a little catchphrase on there that's supposed to be funny. You can also perform your own videos, create your own videos. And that's something that I strongly recommend. And this is in conjunction with creating a YouTube marketing strategy. But what you can basically do is start to focus on creating 2 to 3 minute videos on your iPhone to discuss something that's going to be highly valuable to your audience. And over time, it takes a little time at first. You have to get used to it. I mean, here I'm using just a tripod on my iPhone here, so you don't need to, reinvent the wheel or get fancy or buy a lot of fancy equipment. But once you start to connect with your audience by creating video and letting them see you, it's going to be valuable for you. So now, once you come up with this 30-day strategy of, 3 days a week or 5 days a week, these are the posts that are going to go out, you can have them post across all your social channels. Now, you can use an application such as Buffer or Trello, where you can actually schedule these posts in advance every month. So you don't need to be sitting there or have your assistant sitting there every day starting to upload across all the channels. You can, but it's not necessary. So 30 days in advance, you take all of your content, you upload it onto a platform, you schedule it on the days and times that you'd like to see it post across all your platforms, and before you know it, you've got your organic posts that are just now being disseminated to your audience, and you're not even focused on it. You're working on your practice. Now, over time, you always want to use hashtags that are relevant to your practice areas across these channels, because those hashtags are going to tell the algorithms on these platforms for what types of people should be able to view and see your posts. Now, there's a lot of different ideas I have, and there's different ways to ensure that larger audiences see what you're doing. I think one great thing is to create a Facebook group, but that's something that I'll discuss in another video, and what you can do in those groups to start inviting people and growing an audience that's going to see your content daily. So those are the ideas of how you can go ahead and start growing your brand online through this free media, which is social media. Separately from that, and the separate side of things, so we do all of those things for you. So it's the idea of having a full system, which, by the way, I've created a funnel for this, so it's sort of a PDF that you can look at, so that in case this is difficult because you're not actually seeing something written out, if you'd like to see something in writing or basically see a funnel of what this would look like on a diagram, send me an email, shoot me an email, and I'll send over what we have. That way you can see it for yourself. The second means of the way we help businesses and the way that you can grow your practice is through paid mediums, so paid advertising. Now, where do you do paid advertising? Paid ads come in the form of Google ads and sometimes ads on Bing. They come through Facebook and Instagram ads. They come through LinkedIn ads, display ads, and YouTube ads. Now, a lot of times I get the question of, okay, I'm not doing any digital marketing, or maybe I have some good branding, I'm visible online, but I want to really be able to get to the top of searches or figure out a way to get seen a lot. And I'd say 9 times out of 10 for a law firm, you should be running Google Ads. So if your question is which platform do I start on? 9 times out of 10, and probably higher than 9, I'm going to say Google Ads. Now, what are some downfalls or reasons why people don't see success with Google Ads? Sometimes it's the issue of keywords, because Google Ads essentially allows you to come up at the very top of Google searches for keywords that you select. Now, how do you select those keywords? Well, what I would do is use a free tool that's made by Google. It's called Google Keyword Planner. There's a lot of them out there, such as SEMrush is another one. But you can type in right now, go search Google Keyword Planner, click on it, and you can actually start searching keywords that you think your audience might be searching for. And Google will actually show you how many people in your locale are searching for that term, and then other terms related to those terms. They'll also show you how many searches you're getting monthly. In addition to that, Google will show you the cost per click or the estimated cost per click for each keyword. So you can, in theory, be in a position to figure out a whole pool of keywords you'd like to search, come up with searches for, and then you can determine how much it's worth per click for people to go ahead and click on that once they enter that keyword to click on your ad. Now, there are some secrets with this. There are some ways to get better results. So if you're running Google Ads now and you're having issues, feel free to email us. We'll provide you with a free audit, which is basically where you can provide us with access to your back end of Google. We'll jump in and we'll go ahead and give you some advice and recommendations on what you can improve. But the downfalls that I typically see are, number one, the keywords selected just aren't accurate. So in other words, maybe you were working with a marketer, you did it yourself, and you have some keywords relative to your practice areas, but it's not enough, it's not expansive enough, and it's not wide enough. The second issue I see is not enough testing. You need to be able to split test your ads and the copy on the Google ads that you're creating to know which ads are actually generating clicks and which ones aren't doing so well, and which ones are generating clicks at a low cost per click versus a higher cost per click. The other predominant things I see is a lot of people will send people from Google Ads to their website homepage. That's not a good way to do it, because a homepage is very scattered. It's a website homepage is beautiful, typically, if you have a nice website, but the problem is the user can click on a million different links to go to different places. The profile, the about us, the bios. And a lot of the times when they're looking for immediate results, they sort of get lost in the fray, and then maybe they get distracted. They're at work, they're talking to a friend, they're on their mobile device, they walk onto the subway, they get into their car. And then they just don't find you again. So what we do is we get rid of websites when we're running Google Ads. Now, if you request, or if a client will say, well, hey, should we also be running ads to our website? Can we do that? We can do that too, but we'll create landing pages, which is one page, just one page only, where the viewer gets sent to, where they get a very concise summary of the practice areas that we know are going to be related to what they're looking for because they typed in specific keywords to get to this landing page. And then they're just going to see a number of calls to action. Call now, fill out the form for a free consultation or for a free strategy session. And that's it. So that's one issue, not having a proper landing page. Another issue that we see is, and by the way, if you want to see a sample landing page, same thing. Just go ahead, shoot us an email, give us a call. We're happy to just send one over to you. And you can use it, take from it, copy it, etc. The next layer of issues that we see is with the Google ad itself. People don't use extensions. And extensions on Google Ads are a clever way of kind of monopolizing the area above Google Maps when your ad does show up. So for example, let's say you just have an ad that says, personal injury law firm, car accidents, medical malpractice, wrongful death, etc., call now. And then there are two other Google ads below it, and then you have Google Maps. Well, there's a way to bump out those other competitors when you are showing up in the rotations, and that's by adding extensions. So extensions would show that same area that we discussed, Google Ads, call now, you see the headline, call now, PI, personal injury firm, but then the extensions will say about us or contact us. And even if it's all going to the same or a similar page, what you're gonna wind up doing is, since you're taking up more space, now there's less firms appearing before the Google Maps. It's a clever way to increase your Google Ads. So something that's very valuable. So those are things that you can keep in mind when you're running Google Ads. Now, moving on from that, we also install tracking pixel on these landing pages. That doesn't mean that we ever gather the personal data of the people that are landing on the page. We don't know who they are, but there's pixel data that comes through Google and Facebook that we can install. So that way, if you decide you'd like to also run ads on Facebook and Instagram or YouTube or on display, we can retarget and actually follow these people all around the internet. I'm sure you see it all the time when you purchase shoes or you go onto a website. 10 minutes later, you're watching YouTube, a video ad shows up. 10 minutes later, you go on Instagram or Facebook, it's following you there as well. So these are really powerful methods of growing your paid audience and generating immediate results. So organic growth on your social channels, that's like just free media, which is an amazing tool. It takes time, but you build up an audience, you gain recognition, people see your face, they see your firm. You'll eventually get business over time. Paid advertising is typically for immediate results. Now, what we also do with paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram is a mix of retargeting ads from people who searched on or clicked on our Google ads, but also we offer free downloads to our audience. And what are free downloads? Free downloads are, for example, cheat sheets of something that our audience might be highly interested in. So I have a free download for, since I do commercial work, my free download is called How to Resolve Your Partnership Dispute without liquidating your business or spending tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And it's just a concise summary of things you can do and protections you can take and measures you can take to try and avoid having to liquidate your business if you're having a partnership dispute. So what I do is I run those ads on Instagram and Facebook to people who are business owners. And a lot of people won't click the ad, but a ton of people will click it and they'll download that information. Once they download the information, I have their information. I get their email address, I get their name, and sometimes I get their phone number. And what that allows me to do is then send follow-up emails to them through email marketing. Now again, they may not all become a client immediately. Many of them may not even read the free download, but at the end of the day, they're going to start seeing my name. I know they're relevant because they took the time to fill out a form and download something. And over time, they'll eventually reach out to me and become a client of the firm. So it's very valuable, a great tool to use. The second aspect we use on Facebook and Instagram for paid ads is we run what's called video ads, meaning we'll take a video, a 5-minute video of our practice area. So if you're doing, let's see, what's an interesting practice area? Maybe you're doing international trade regulation and there's a company that's interested in importing goods or products into the country and you want to make sure that you're reaching that audience. You can run video ads that discuss a very prevalent topic, such as, let's say, the African Growth and Opportunity Act is something I dealt with years ago when I was in law school, about 10, 11 years ago, or maybe 12 at this point. But you can run ads discussing this topic, and what will happen is people will listen to the topic. Those who are interested in the topic will actually watch the video for more than, let's say, 25 seconds or more than a quarter of the video length. So what we do is we find every single person that watches 25% or more of that video, we take that pool of people and we consider them to be relevant. Only those people then will see a second ad that's relevant to the topic that you want to attract business for, whether it's personal injury, whether it's bankruptcy, whether it's real estate, whether it's corporate transaction work, M&A, whatever it may be. That second video is also relevant to a topic your audience might be asking questions about or has a fear related to. So they're watching that video. Then we run it again, a third video, and they're consistently seeing you and seeing your valuable information all over. We're not selling anything. We're just providing value. And we work with you, by the way, to create these videos if you're looking for external help. Otherwise, you can do this yourself. Then, after 3 videos and 3 people that have seen 25%, we basically take those people that are watching the videos and then we hit them with a call now. If you have an issue with international trade regulation, if you're trying to get your products into the United States, if you're going through a bankruptcy, if you have a business dispute, if you've been injured in an automobile accident, or if your loved one has suffered from XYZ, call this law firm. So we get them to remember you. It's the idea of the more somebody sees you, the more likely they're willing to go ahead and call you and work with you. So those are some very powerful tools that we use to go ahead and grow your business. The last thing that I don't think I mentioned, this would actually come up more in organic, but it's sort of a hybrid, is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, we have a special program. I use this myself to grow my audience and to grow my business. So we use our personal profile pages, and I recommend everybody does this. Optimize your profile page. If you're curious of how to do that, just go to my page. Go to Ross Pitkoff, ROSSPITCOFF. See what I've done and kind of see if you can mimic the headline. So you always want an optimized image at the top, and underneath, instead of just saying attorney at law or employment attorney or whatever you may be, unpaid wages lawyer, focus on making yourself sound like you're at the top of your market, that you're a high quality attorney and very good at what you do. And if you can position yourself properly on LinkedIn and you start to post content on there, which we already discussed how to do that, you can really start to grow an audience. Now, what we do, and to take this to the next level is, and you can do this yourself too, is purchase a premium subscription with LinkedIn. Make sure you get LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I believe it's about $79 a month. The first month is free. Now, if you use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can create saved audiences. This is perfect for anybody that wants to work with any type of business, whether it's the owners, the CEOs, the CFOs, if you're looking to work with associates, or if it's an employment-related disputes you're looking to generate business for, you can do this in so many types of ways. So you can actually target the titles of the people in the businesses that you want to connect with. So for example, if you're looking to connect with, I connect with CEOs of hedge funds, small family office owners. You can do this with fashion design companies, with doctors, with hospitals, with clinics, whatever it may be. But you can choose the title of the people you want to connect with, the location of where these businesses and the people are going to be located, and you can even choose the size of the businesses. So if you say, you know what, I only want to be connecting with owners of companies that have at least 50 employees in the greater Chicago area, you can do that. Now then what we do is I would recommend you come up with an introductory message you send with the connection request, because these aren't just blank connect, connect, connect. When you click connect, make it a personalized message and save that message. So write a really brief message. Say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I run a XYZ type of law practice here in New Orleans. I just wanted to reach out to you and expand our networks, or feel free to use me as a resource, whatever it may be. You send that message. Now, always input the first name of the person you're connecting with. But once you have these audiences, you can just do this one after the next. So you can copy and paste the first name of the person you want to connect with and send this personalized message. You can have your assistant do it for you. And similarly, I have my assistant do it for me, but we also do this as a service for businesses. Now, if you want to send follow-ups, maybe you have a link to an article you wrote or something of that nature, you can always do follow-ups, or at the holiday times, reach out to your audience and connect with them. So we do offer follow-up messages, and you can consider making those yourself. Again, create a Word document, come up with a template, have a few messages that sound like you, and suddenly you're personally going to be entering into these conversations with your target audience. Now, again, what are the benefits of this overall? Well, if you're connecting with, let's say, 50 people every single day of the week, which is what we do, you're going to find that your audience daily is going to be growing. So if you 50 new people a day, that's about 1,000 a month. I find my LinkedIn adds about 400 to 600 every single month of new connections. Now, of those connections, people are seeing my welcome message, and many of them are writing back. People, and I don't just mean anyone, the people I want to be in touch with, the people that eventually I would love to be my clients, I'm connecting with. So what does that do? When they're in my audience, now when I just post, they're seeing those posts. So even if I'm not communicating with them back and forth, they're starting to get into my pool of knowledge. They're seeing the resources I offer, and they may comment on my post. They may reach out to me and say, hey, loved your video. Hey, love that article you posted. I see you're really involved with the securities laws. Can I ask you a question? Can we jump on a call? Of course. Also, a lot of these people will actually directly respond to you and say, hey, I'd love to jump on a call with you. Now, some of those people may want to pitch their services to you, but a lot of those people are going to say, I wanted to get a sense of what you do. Let me tell you what I do, and maybe, we might be good business partners or good resources for referrals in the future. And then you're going to find that there are those people out there that literally you happen to contact them at the right time, because it's a numbers game. As an example, you may have somebody reach out to you and say, you know what, I've got a trade secrets litigation. I just got sued. Is there a possibility we can talk? Or I've been involved in a litigation and I'm unhappy with my counsel. Is it possible I could have a conversation with you? And of course, you can decide if you'd like to take that call. But that's the power of what happens when you're constantly posting, constantly reaching out and getting your brand out there. I just shared a lot of information with you guys. I hope this was valuable. I know it's a long video. It's about 20 minutes worth of content. So what I'll do is, moving forward, I'm going to break down these areas into separate videos, so that way you can kind of get a sense of each different area and what you can do. So they'll only be a few minutes long, so you don't have to sit there for 25 minutes and watch everything. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, email us, call us, reach out. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment. If you're watching it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, just send a message. But I hope this is helpful. Welcome to the rest Ipsa family. I look forward to getting to know you and establishing a relationship with you. Take care. Bye-bye.